I wasn't born yesterday. Do 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 do. That new Quedeca, man. You know when a song like comes out at just the perfect time in your life for it to like hit you the hardest and for it to relate to you the most, bruh? That's what's happening right now, but that's neither here nor there. Shout out Quedeca. I'm very excited. I didn't mean to haunt you. Like, why am I promoting this nigga right now? Anyway, shout out, bro. But completely unrelated to this story. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I low key pride myself on having a crazy deep memory, which is part of what I like thought about in deciding to create this channel because I have a deep ass catalog of stories to tell for a while. And like my oldest memory was from when I was like 3 years old and we were with like my cousin and his family in Florida, and our parents took us to this snowland ass amusement park or like a snow mountain adjacent place, and it was in Florida, so they definitely had us playing in like fake ass snow. But we had these spinny glowy snow globe thingies too that were like you would like hold it and walk around and push a button on it and it would like spin, and there were lights inside of it and the lights would like spin and shit too. 3-year-old me was like so fascinated by that shit, and it's weird because like it feels like a dream looking back on it, but then like I would like ask my brother about it and shit and he was like, nah, this shit happened, like I remember that. And I'm like, damn. Completely unrelated though, the actual story in this video is about the early 2000s though. So I was 5 in 2007, and you can do the math with how old I am. But anyway, I was 5 in 2007, and one of the biggest crazes I remember was HEELYS. Tell me you remember the HEELYS. If you had a pair of HEELYS on at pre-K, you were literally a god tier ass human. The HEELYS DLC was literally the fastest way to win at pre-K. Pre-K was pay to win. So eventually, when Christmas time came, my brothers were fiending for some HEELYS, which of course made 5-year-old me want to fiend for some HEELYS. So when Christmas came, we all somehow got a pair of HEELYS. You feel me? Shout out that nigga Santa and whatnot. But we literally became the most insufferable kids on the block after we got these HEELYS. We were those niggas with the HEELYS DLC. We had the stunt. We had the floss on niggas. And we took it to school. We took it to the doctor's office. We took it to the damn dentist, nigga. I had that shit on everywhere I went for a minute. I know those soles were like sweaty as fuck, nasty ass shoes. But one day, this one fateful day, we're doing our HEELY reps on the cul-de-sac, my brother and me, and we're like circling quick as fuck. And then my brother starts doing some weird shit on them, like some weird HEELY tricks or whatever, like on some skateboard manual shit. And he leans his heels up further and further back. And then he like instantly stops by like rotating the balance to the tips of his toes on some ballerina shit. And like, I don't know if that's like giving you a good enough mental image, but just trust me when I say this shit was nuts. And then he's like, okay, now you do it. And I'm like, what the did this nigga just do? Like, how am I supposed to replicate that? But at the same time, kid me is like, fuck it, let's do it. So I'm doing some like circles around the cul-de-sac, you know, I'm trying to get warmed up. And then I'm like, yo, I'm ready. Like, it's time. So I start my attempt of this trick and I get my heels way further back and shit is actually starting to work. And I'm like, whoa, like I can actually do this, question mark. And then then I try to do the tippy toe shit and my knees just cease operations and I fall right on my ass cheeks, bruh. But I fell so hard it got through to the tailbone and I felt that shit in my back on some Spider-Man 2002 shit, like my back. And I start crying like crazy because shit did not feel right at all. Like this was an immeasurable amount of pain for a little nigga. I literally couldn't stand up straight for like a solid 5 minutes. And it felt like my back was permanently fucked. I was really scared. It was like still as fuck for way too long. This shit literally gave me HEELY trauma. I didn't touch HEELYs for like 4 years after that because of this event. And like, I didn't know what this shit was at the time, but like in 7th grade, we learned about like spine injuries. Like we had a whole unit on spine injuries in our science class, which is like a little random, but I mean the human body, so I guess it makes sense. And like when I heard about like what all that shit was and like the possible ramifications it could have for your body permanently, I like had a flashback and I was like, yo, I could have like destroyed my spine that day. And then I was like, damn. So if you ever like want to get Heelys in 2022, be careful, I guess. I mean, niggas is like skating now, so I don't really see a point. But don't try any of this at home. But if you do, come on, record that shit, nigga. Welcome to the garden, you gon' have to pardon me. It's a sad story, chopper hit my homie artery. Just a week later, family won the fucking lottery. Kinda sick story, what the fuck they tryna plot on me? Welcome to the garden, you gon' have to pardon me. It's a sad story, chopper hit my homie artery. Just a week later,